Happy Tuesday, everybody. I just want to give a shout out to Avery. Yesterday was her birthday. If I would have made a video yesterday, we would have said happy birthday to her yesterday. So if you talk to her or you see her, give Avery a birthday shout out. So happy birthday, Avery. I just want to show you guys one of my other shirts. I don't think I've showed you this, but you know how the toilet paper whole situation is like there's a shortage of toilet paper. Okay, so I have this shirt. It says roll with it. And it says quarantine 2020. It's just hilarious. It's a hilarious shirt. And it was like super cheap. And so I bought it. I was like, why not, right? Let's go. Okay, here we go on to the next part of our book. So, in the last part of the book, we figured out that Azalea got the part of Alice in their class play Alice in Wonderland. So, now we're going to move on. Mall time. At lunch, Arnold had an idea. When I was just learning the ways of humans, he said, my family took me to the mall and it was a very valuable experience. I discovered that there were very many different kinds of jeans and stores that liked to play music very loud, and there were a lot of people who were enjoying not doing much of anything, which I realized was an important activity for teenagers. And it's where I met Darlene and helped Lester talk to her. Kiki, Azalea, Ross, Sarah Ann, and I were all sitting there listening to this speech. After Arnold finally stopped talking, Ross raised his hand. That's all terrific, Arnie. So what's your point? Arnold rolled his eyes. A trick he'd learned from Kiki, who was a master, as he finished chewing a jelly bean. My point is that I think we need to take Azalea to the mall. Azalea immediately shook her head. I'm not ready. Yes, you are, Arnold insisted. You've been here almost 2 weeks. I went to the mall after, 5 days. What does, after 5 days mean? Azalea asked. Kiki giggled. People say a lot for no reason. You just did it, I pointed out. Ha, I guess I did. Azalea had more questions. She always had more questions. Why do people use words for no reason? We were all stumped on that one, except Sarah Ann. She took out her board. Because we're weird, she said. Oh, that makes sense, said Azalea. We're not weird, I said, feeling a sudden need to defend the human race for some reason. But we do sometimes say things that are kind of weird, like, yeah, no. People say that a lot. Yeah, no. I say that too. Yeah, no. I do say that. Do you say that? I bet you probably do. And if not, your parents probably say that. Kiki nodded. And 100%, which is just a longer way of saying yes. Ross suddenly decided this was a game and he wanted to play too. Dude! I say dude all the time. You do? Kiki asked, pretending to be surprised. He nodded. 100%. Kiki punched Arnold's shoulder. When Arnold first got here, she said, he talked as if he were Mr. Oxford Dictionary himself, but now he uses like all the time. Azalea turned to her fellow zombie. So in order to assimilate into society, I should also start using these words? Absolutely not, Arnold said. Not if you can help it. Then catching himself. Dang it! I said it. So anyway, I said, about the mall? Oh, yeah, right. Arnold popped an orange jelly bean into his mouth. I can get Lester to take us after school. Darlene still works at the store, and I think taking Azalea is a good idea, both to show her what it's like and to maybe get her some new clothes. Azalea looked herself up and down. Is there something wrong with my wardrobe? Am I wearing something ill-fitting? I think you look fine, I said, although no one had ever once called me any kind of fashion expert. That's for sure. Kiki was beginning to see what Arnold was too polite to say directly. I think what Arnold was too polite to say and is trying to say, you're doing really well, but you seem a little nervous, a little, formal. Maybe going to the mall and relaxing and trying on some different kinds of clothes will help you feel a little more at home. That's all. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, Arnold said, nodding at Kiki gratefully. Azalea looked at me. Evan, do you think it would be okay with your parents? I think it'd be more than okay. I said. 2 days later, Arnold, Kiki, Ross, and I took Azalea to the mall, which was basically a bunch of stores with only a few people inside them and lots of wide, long hallways with many people in them. Let's head there, Arnold said. He was pointing at a store called Boys Clothes, spelled B-O-Y-Z, Boys, and then Clothes, C-L-O-Z-E. The music was blaring, which didn't make any sense to me. Even if you liked the music, how was the salesperson supposed to hear you when you asked for a shirt? I didn't get it. Also, in case you couldn't tell, I'm kind of a sheltered person. My parents haven't let me do that much stuff. I could probably use the same kind of loosening up practice that Azalea needed. Let's do this, I said. I was trying to sound enthusiastic, but I was pretty sure I wasn't pulling it off. We went into the store, and the first person we saw was Darlene. She was folding shirts, and man, was she good at that. She folded about 10 of them in 20 seconds, and every one of them looked perfect. Darlene got plenty of practice working here and at its sister store across the mall, Kids Clothes. Spelled with Z's again. This week, her hair color changed. It was a deep, dark blue. She looked up and gave us a huge smile. Well, looky here. Just the people I need to brighten my dull day working in retail purgatory. Azalea and Arnold both laughed, probably because they were the only ones who knew what the word purgatory meant. Darlene went right over to Azalea. It is so good to see you again, she said. I heard you'd moved in with the Brantleys, which is so exciting. Another zombie in our midst. All right. Thank you, Azalea said, slightly nervous. Even though she'd met Darlene on the day we brought Arnold back from the territory, the second time, she seemed a little unsure what to make of this blue-haired high school girl. We're here to get Azalea some clothes, I said, trying to move things along. My mom was picking us up in an hour. We had to move fast. Darlene looked confused. Huh? You do know this store's called Boys Clothes, right? The first word in the title is boys. Yeah, we know. But for one thing, Kiki said, I thought it would be fun to visit you here because you're so cool, and for another thing, I wear boys' shirts all the time. She pointed at herself and the long button-down blue shirt she was wearing. Like, right now. So you are. Darlene nodded her approval at Kiki's choice. Well done. She pulled on Azalea's arm. Okay, come with me. While they walked over to look at some shirts, the rest of us browsed around the store trying to hear ourselves think over the music. Then I saw Kiki and Ross walk out of the store, and I felt those annoying old pangs of jealousy again. I hurried over to where Arnold was staring at a pair of jeans. Why do these pants have so many rips? He asked. Shouldn't they get that fixed? I shook my head. That's the style. The more rips, the better. Now come with me. Arnold didn't seem satisfied with my answer. Not that I could blame him, but he came with me anyway. We watched as Kiki and Ross wandered across the hallway to where the mall movie theater was playing a movie called Floodthirsty 3D. Whoa, what's that movie about? Arnold asked. Well, I'm not exactly sure, although I did hear some kids at school talking about it. I think it's about a giant space creature who tries to take over Earth by making the oceans overflow into the cities. Yikes. Yeah. Arnold was still staring at the marquee. And what does 3D mean? It means you put on these weird glasses and it feels like the action in the movie is right in front of you and it's coming toward you. Cool, Arnold said, which is the word he would never have used when I had first met him. Ross and Kiki, meanwhile, had spotted us and were coming back over. We should totally go see this movie, Ross said. It looks awesome. It looks the opposite of awesome, Kiki said. But it does look ridiculous in a fun kind of way. Here's the the picture of the marquee. You know, like outside the movies, they have the different posters for the movies so you can see what the movie looks like or who's in it or whatever. So that's the one for this one. I looked at the clock on my phone. My mom is coming soon. Can't you text her? Kiki asked. Maybe she can come in like 2 hours. We'll still get home in plenty of time for dinner and homework and stuff. Please, Ross begged. Meanwhile, Azalea and Darlene were coming out of the store, with Darlene grinning from ear to ear and Azalea wearing a shirt about 2 sizes too big for her, ripped jeans and a beanie like the type skateboarders wear. She looked pretty awesome, I had to admit. I hooked this lady up, hollered Darlene. I mean, how fly does she look? Extremely fly, Arnold said. I'm assuming that fly is good? Azalea asked, speaking for all of us. Very, confirmed Darlene. What are you guys doing out here? Thinking about going to see Floodthirsty? I said, not really. And Kiki said, definitely, at the same exact time. Unfortunately, Darlene came down on the side of the wanna-sees. Oh man, I saw it last week. It was awesome. She said it in such a way that would made me realize I would be the definite bad guy of the story if we said I couldn't see it. Ugh. I got on my phone and I texted my mom. Hey, everyone wants to stay and see a movie. It's only 2 hours. Can we? I never had to wait so long for my mom to text back. 20 seconds later, you have homework. I can do it after. Which movie? Floodthirsty. When does it start? 10 minutes. When is it over? 5:15. What is it rated? PG. Are you sure Azalea can handle that? Very sure. This time there was a longer pause. She was obviously mulling it over. We all stood there, waiting. Okay, fine. I'll be there at 5:20. Be outside by the double doors. Don't keep me waiting. Okay, thanks, I texted her. I gave everyone the thumbs up, which led to a gentle buzz of excitement. I gave Darlene my credit card for the clothes. Nah, I got it, she said. Friends and family discount. You can give me later. Really? Really. Things were looking up. Then Ras Klepsaw, the kid who pretty much made my life miserable for the previous 6 years, held his hand up for a high five. I smacked it. Your mom rocks, dude, and so do you. Things had sure changed around here. Let's see here. Alright. Well, I think I am going to stop there. So they're going to the movie to watch this scary movie. Maybe I'll read just a little bit more. That's a long chapter. Oh boy. Yeah, I'll read just a little bit more. Couple pages. Title, Scary Movie. It took about 5 minutes for me to realize that going to see the movie was a bad idea. There was a scene where the alien guy who looked like a horned toad with an extra head sticking out his back first comes to Earth. He lands in a swamp, shakes his body dry, then screams and spins directly toward the camera, meaning directly toward us. In the 3D glasses, it looked so real. It was so scary I jumped out of my seat, but then I pretended I was just stretching my legs because I didn't want my friends to seem scared in the slightest. In fact, Kiki and Ross were laughing their heads off. This is hilarious, hollered Ross. It was clear he had a disturbed sense of humor. It's the funniest thing ever, agreed Kiki. It was clear I had to reconsider my opinion of Kiki. Arnold didn't seem scared or amused. He just seemed confused by the entire thing. Is this your first time in a movie theater? I whispered to him. He nodded. I've watched movies at home with my family, but this is the first time in a giant dark room with a bunch of other people. It's kind of weird. You'll get used to it, I said. Then I glanced over at Azalea, who was sitting there with her mouth wide open. Azalea, are you okay? She didn't say anything, but she shook her head. Her eyes never moved from the screen. Hold on. Are you saying you're not okay? She shook her head again. Well, then what are you saying? I asked, which was kind of a silly question since she wasn't saying anything. I just decided to leave her alone. A few minutes later, Kiki passed me her popcorn. I took a handful and shoved it in my mouth, but was surprised to taste something soft, squishy, and not popcorny at all. Ugh! I said, apparently too loud because someone in the row in front of us turned around. He was an adult, and he was not looking very happy. Hey, will you kids keep it down back there? This is a movie theater, not a playroom. Sorry, it won't happen again, I said. I tapped Kiki on the shoulder a little aggressively. There's something wrong with your popcorn. There's nothing wrong with it, she whispered back. It's got raisinets in it. Popcorn and raisinets are the perfect combination. My immediate reaction was to be grossed out, but as I continued to chew, I realized she had a point. The salt and the chocolate mixture was actually quite delicious. Hey, you're right. This is really... But I never finished my sentence because the exact moment at that time, the space alien creature guy began attacking its first city, flooding it with a secret toxic orange liquid. The people in the city started turning orange, then growing second heads out of their backs, just like the creature. Then suddenly, they all looked like aliens and started acting like aliens too, stomping around and looking for other innocent people to dump the toxic sludge onto. It was really scary. I forgot about the popcorn. Even Kiki and Ross weren't laughing anymore. And I'm going to stop there. Oh boy. Ooh. Well, does this sound like a movie that you would go watch? Maybe. Kind of sounds like a creepy, weird, scary movie. I don't know if I'd like to see it or not. I don't mind movies that are action-packed, but weird, gross, alien, scary, freaky movies, I don't think I'm a fan. I don't know. I don't think I'm a fan. Anyways, I really hope that you guys have a wonderful Tuesday night. I will be reading again for you guys tomorrow night, so I hope you join me back then. And again, happy birthday yesterday, Avery. Bye, guys.